I live in the state of Pennsylvania. I could not be more proud of our Democratic Senator, John Fetterman. The reason why he's an inspiration is not only because he's a huge supporter of Israel, but because he's a demonstration of the way every politician should be. He's part of the Democratic Party, but he doesn't stand with them all the time at all, because he stands with what he believes and knows is true. He happens to have a lot of clarity despite a lot of health issues that he's gone through. He's got unbelievable moral clarity. And when he feels a certain way, he speaks it, and he showed such moral courage. And that is what we need to see and want to see in politicians. Watch this little clip from an interview with him about, how many people are criticizing him for his positions on Israel and how he responds so simply.
I just want to bring it back to your state, though, because you have gotten criticism from both Muslim groups and pro-peace Jewish groups. Last month, the Philadelphia and Pittsburgh chapters of the Council on American Islamic Relations, they issued a joint statement where they condemned you for saying that you loved Israel's pager attacks targeting Hezbollah in Lebanon.
I do. I absolutely.
Well, they said when our elected officials start condoning the civilian loss of life, our collective moral compass is irreparably harmed. That's a quote. And indeed, that attack did hurt and maim civilians.
It didn't. It was targeted for members of Hezbollah. No one uses beepers in that situation other than they were a member of Hezbollah.
There was a young child
that was a micro targeting to minimize civilians.
There was a young child who was killed who was taking the pager to their parent.
Unfortunately, tragically, because Daddy was a member of Hezbollah.
Listen to how he answers that. I just love it. It's so clear. Whose fault is it that child was killed? Let's hear the rest of this.
That's tragic. He brought that danger and evil into their home, and that's what tragically resulted in that poor child's death. And that's what's so terrible. She paid the price because her father was a terrorist for Hezbollah, and I grieve for the death of Palestinian children and other innocents there. I don't assign any more value to their lives, versus my own children's lives, and that's why we have to destroy Hamas, and we have to develop a new way forward where people can live in peace, so that this kinds of death and misery, it has to stop. But it's not being driven by Israel. It's driven by Hamas and Iran and that kinds of commitment to destroy the state of Israel. And now you have idiots in this nation, talking about and chanting about from the river to the sea. And they try to pretend that doesn't exactly what that means. And that is Israel is in the middle of the sea and that river, and that has to be wiped free. And that's at least own your anti-Semitism rather than trying to hide behind a turn on words.
John Fetterman, God bless you. May you be blessed with excellent health and continued moral clarity. And here's the reality for every single one of us. We are always going to be confronted with certain situations where our integrity tells us one thing, peer pressure pushes us in a different direction. And it does require a lot of inner courage to stand up against the peer pressure. John Fetterman is an outstanding example of that. These are the types of politicians that we need. But you know what else? These are the types of citizens that we need. That means he is calling upon you and I to be able to do the same thing, and we must. And what's fascinating is that he has a lot of support. Yes, he has a lot of detractors too, but he has a lot of support, and his supporters are very, very strong because he shows this unique skill of moral clarity that he has the courage to stand up for.